Vic Jagger in the morning with Huggy Lowdown right here on Majic 102.3 and 92.7. On the line, he's the 63rd governor of the state of Maryland, Maryland's first black governor in the state's 246-year history.
This is historic.
And the third African-American elected governor in the history of the United States. It is our honor to welcome to the show Tacoma Park's own Governor Wes Moore. Hi, how are you?
What's up, brother?
I'm so good. What's going on, family? I can't believe I'm on with Vic and Huggy. This is crazy. I love it.
Yes, we're so happy to have you on. Every time I see you interacting with the people, or if you're at, a gala or something, you are not shy about getting on the dance floor.
Yeah. He is the people.
Yes, you are a part of the people. And I love music as well. We just celebrated the 50th anniversary of hip hop.
Right.
And I do want to know, as one music lover to the next, what was that song for you that made you fall in love with hip hop?
Ooh, it's funny because I look at my relationship with hip hop is love. I can tell you moments in my life what the soundtrack was.
Wow.
What the things that happened at certain moments, and what was the song that was either playing or the song was in my head. I can tell, whether it's Bonita Applebum, I can tell you it was my first date.
Oh, yes.
Radio, LL Cool J. I mean, I've had hip hop has just been a consistent in my, and frankly, to this day, it still is. So
a little birdie had told me something, like a little story about, you in the car with your mom and, Chub Rock, and you may have known all the words.
And it was funny because what happened was this was a time my mother had just come from a meeting with my teachers, and they told me, they're like, we think there might be a challenge with him in terms of the retention of information, that he's not retaining information. I wasn't doing well in school. I was acting out in class, and they thought that it was maybe because I had a learning difference. And my mother was like, and I was driving, and we were driving somewhere, and she's like, literally, I'm listening to him rap Chub Rock. It's like the 1990 Chub Rock jumps someone on the scene with a lean in the pocket full of green, the green was similar to Rock, this Robocop, years was shot. And she's listening to me go off with Chub Rock, and she's like, when did you first hear this song? And I was like, I think I first heard it yesterday or a couple days or whatever. And she was like, so the problem is not retention. That's not the issue with my son. And I think that was actually a really important moment for her, because she realized, she was like, I don't think that the teachers were seeing him for who he was and the challenges and the obstacles that I had coming up. And so in many ways, hip hop helped her to understand that maybe the challenges her son was having weren't what she was being told were the challenges that he was having.
Wow.
Yeah, it was wild.
Have you ever thanked Chub Rock for that?
I haven't had a chance to meet Chubb, but I want to, and I want to tell him that story.
And even though you say, listen, I wasn't the best student, I'm gonna give you your flowers, being the first Black Rhodes Scholar in the history of Johns Hopkins University.
Wow.
So that speaks volumes to the possibilities. You have teachers and people who say, oh, this person is acting out. You're not gonna go far. You can.
Right. That's right. Listen, do not let anybody, I always have this expression I believe in, don't let people that don't matter too much matter too much.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? We allow people who do not have the authority, nor have they earned the right to be able to have a choice in our own life destiny, to be the ones who decide what our life destiny is going to be. And so I think that was one of the things that happened to me. And people talk about the transition I had, and I was. I was a kid who, I saw my father die in front of me when I was 3 years old. Wow. My mother was an immigrant single mom from Jamaica who then had to raise 3 kids on her own. And she was a woman who didn't get her first job that gave her benefits until I was 14 years old. I ended up getting sent away to a military school because some things I got into when I was 13. And so, but the thing that happened to me, it wasn't that I got moved around and picked up and, got placed from this place to this place or got sent away to different parts of the country. What happened to me was that I found myself surrounded by people who helped me to understand that the world was bigger than what was just directly in front of me, and who helped me to understand that we lived in a bright world and that I was a necessary part of it, and that nothing was going to stand in the way as long as you were willing to have that real sense of belief and come up in a community that actually believed in you. And so I think about the work that we do now. Yeah. And the reason that I am so passionate about our kids, the reason I'm so passionate about investing in our kids, the reason that the entire frame of our administration, the whole idea of leave no one behind, is because I see myself in these kids. Yeah. I see myself in their journeys. And so I think we can be a society that actually creates better structures around the families, creates better structures in neighborhoods, make sure that we're being fair about the way we're allocating resources and really giving kids an opportunity to be able to experience their genius. I mean, like, I think about, yes, being the first Black Rhodes Scholar, or, working in finance, starting a business, being the first Black governor in the history of the state. None of those things happened by just hard work. Someone had to see it for me first. Yes. And then I had the ability to be able to push forward because I knew that a path, and I understood my own history, and that a path was already being laid for me before I even realized it.
It's always important to have a tribe around you, to have people to pour into you. And, you talk about your experiences growing up. How did that impact you being a father of two children? How have those experiences shaped you into the father and man you are today?
Oh, man, I got to tell you, being a parent for both Mia, our 12-year-old, and James, our 10-year-old, it's the greatest joy. I'm watching them grow into such beautiful, beautiful human beings, and I'm seeing how, as my mother used to say, presence matters. And that's one thing I know that we've always believed, even as we made this this transition, moving from Baltimore, now living in Annapolis, that the number one focus on all of it is making sure that they were good. Mm-hmm. And the best way that you can do that is by making sure that they continue to be seen and that our presence continues to be felt. There's nothing that is going to, for all of us, that is going to change our day like you tell me something has happened to your child or something is happening to your child. That will change my day instantaneously, right? And I think that we have to be able to exist in a frame, and I think even the policies we push for are all things that are making sure that we can create better pathways for our children. I mean, when people talk about why we focused in our first year doing things like raising the minimum wage in the state of Maryland, because no one should be working jobs, in some cases multiple jobs, and still living at or below a poverty line. The reason that we made adjustments and made permanent a child tax credit, so being able to provide additional support for parents, particularly working parents. The reason that we were able to focus on job retraining and job reskilling, and when I first took office, Maryland was 43rd in the country in unemployment. Right now, Maryland has the lowest unemployment rate in the entire country. Why that matters is it means more economic opportunities that are then going to turn around and benefit the children.
Well, let me just tell you, my son is a senior in high school in Maryland, and he also works part-time. And when he found out about that $15 an hour, he was very excited about it. So I know the impact that it is having on our young people, who have part-time jobs, who are preparing to go to college. And, I was reading about the service year option and the Maryland Corps and the things that you all are doing for young adults and people of all ages. Can you speak on that?
Yes, this honestly is a dream come true. And really what it is Maryland is now the first state in this country that has a service year option for all of our high school graduates. And what it is for all of our high school graduates, they have a chance to have a year of service to the state of Maryland. They can choose however they want to do it. They can work in the environment. They can work supporting young people. They can work on, helping returning citizens, people coming home from incarceration. They can work in a variety of work serving veterans. They can do a variety of different things, and they can do anything that makes their heart beat a little bit faster. There's, really 4 reasons why we wanted to make it happen, and we, really championed this and got it done quickly. The first is we are big believers in experiential learning. If you give young people a chance to understand what options they have and you give them a pathway to actually do the work, they're going to do it and they're going to excel. The second is we are big believers in earned financial cushions. And that basically means, if someone's willing to do the work, they need to be paid accordingly for it. We're big believers in workforce training. And some of the greatest champions of it have not just been the nonprofit organization partners, but have actually been the private sector who have said, we see this as a great pipeline for workforce development. And the fourth big reason is in this time of this political divisiveness and political vitriol, it's going to be service that it will save us. Because if we can be a state that serves, if we can be a state that gets to know each other again, if we can be a state that actually works on big projects together. I remember, I served in the military, and I remember one question I never once asked my soldiers, what's your political party? Right. It didn't matter. We had one job, one goal, one mission, and that's exactly how the service year is framed out. So we're thankful. We have hundreds of young people who are serving around the state, all over the state right now. So I'm going to make sure that we get you all the information and make sure your son knows the opportunity is available as well.
Yes. And so the 2024 legislative agenda has been laid out. There are so many things that you guys are focused on. But let's talk about making Maryland more affordable. Everything from the Enough Act to the Housing Expansion and Affordability Act, the Renters' Rights Stabilization Act.
Yes, I love this because one of our core goals is you've got to make Maryland more affordable. Yes. And really, we also knew that to do that, you've got to focus on the things that are helping to make Maryland not affordable for people. And that focuses on childcare. It focuses on housing. So we, in our proposed budget, we have proposed the largest investment in childcare in Maryland history. And why that became so important is if you are not focusing on childcare, you are basically making a large swath of the population. You're making it difficult for them to be able to enter back into the workforce. And unfortunately, oftentimes that's women. And unfortunately, oftentimes it's Black women and women of color. And so we made the largest investment in the state's history in childcare. When it comes to housing, the number one driver of poverty in the state of Maryland is housing insecurity. But also, the number one driver of wealth in our society is housing.
It's housing.
Wow.
It's home ownership.
Yeah.
And so we knew that this was something that we had to tackle. And so that's why we've introduced legislation that focuses on things like renters protection and making it easier for renters to not just get into homes, but stay. That we focus on things like making sure that the state is working with the locals to ensure that we can create more affordable housing. There's a massive problem with a shortage of affordable housing. It's the reason that prices continue to go up, where if you have slower supply and increased demand, what happens is the price goes up. Right. And so we've got to make housing more affordable. There's no reason that someone should be paying 30-40% of their monthly take home towards rent. And there's no reason we can't address the fact that, you watch interest rates and mortgage payments jump, which has made home ownership less affordable. So that means increasing the inventory, making sure that we're focusing on the things that's just making Maryland a more affordable state for people to live in and retire in and stay in. And by the way, we've done all of this work, massive investments, and we're not raising taxes. And so I think
I'm sorry. Say that one more time.
Oh yeah, we are not raising taxes. And I want people to know this is an administration that takes fiscal discipline seriously. This is an administration who does big things, but we also make sure we're doing big things in partnership, and we're not going to do the big things on the backs of working families. So all of those things that I mentioned, we're doing and investing in, and we're really proud of this work. We're also doing it, and we are not raising taxes on Maryland families.
I just want to say, just thank you for walking it like you talk it, brother, and keeping our attention, man, and being a person in your position that get it and not forget it. I remember your book, The Other Westmore.
Yes, sir.
And the different paths and your village. It could have turned out very different. And being a Black man and having microcosms of role models, brother.
Yes, sir.
So I appreciate that. We appreciate that.
Man, Huggy, I appreciate you, and I appreciate the role model you've been to our community for so long. And, and one thing I tell people is, again, I'm never going to forget who made me. I'm never going to forget who got me here. You know what I mean? I am who I am. I don't come from a political background. I don't come from a political frame. I always say I don't come from a political family. I had to convince many members of my family to vote for me, and it wasn't because they don't like me. I'm cool with my family.
Hey, bro, that's
Now
family.
you had to do a presentation at Thanksgiving, like, all right,
Exactly.
y'all.
Let me make my pitch.
Yeah, that's family, bro.
For members of my family, they haven't voted before.
Wow.
So that's not the background that we come from. So I can only be who I am. And so when I think about the fact it was the people who got me here, it wasn't a political party. It wasn't a machine. I wasn't their choice.
Yeah.
But what I do know is this: by the end of the day, I'm thankful to the people of the state because we ended up winning with more individual votes than anyone who'd ever run for governor in the history of the state of Maryland.
Wow, you gotta love that.
That does not happen because of a machine or a party. I can only be who I am. And my only commitment to the people is I keep my promises, and we're going to keep doing the things that got us here in the first place.
Well, we hear how you are and we see the work that you're doing in the office, right? But when you take off that suit, okay, and you go home, you are daddy, you are hubby. And wait, do you have a family nickname?
Yeah.
Or are you not going to tell us what that? Everybody has a family nickname. What they call you around at the family reunions?
So I can't tell you about the nickname my wife gives for me. I'm gonna keep that between us. But my family nickname is actually my middle name. It's Omari.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Well, they probably say
That's
Mari. Mari.
So when I'm places and I hear somebody say Omari, I'm like, I know that's family calling me. I know that's family.
Yeah, like they know me.
They know you know you. They
know me.
Yeah.
Know me.
Well, here, we try to ask the hard-hitting questions, when we have someone of your status on. So we do want to know, number one, where do you get the best chicken box or
crab cake?
Crab cake.
Crab cake. It's very important.
And what is your street ball game looking like? What are you looking like on the basketball court with your homies?
More importantly, what is your nickname on the basketball court? They're not calling you Rusty Buckets out of here.
See, hard-hitting questions.
I'm feeling more like that as I get older.
Okay.
Actually, my nickname now is just Jump Shot West because I just stay on the outside. I don't go into the middle
I'm
no
calling
more.
cap, bro.
But actually, on the chicken box it's hip hop.
Okay.
Hip hop is the best chicken box, but you got to make sure that you do the hot sauce on everything.
Okay.
It's a key prerequisite. Yeah. And for the crab cake, best crab cake is Coco's.
Ooh.
So you got to go to Baltimore.
Didn't
The
I
best
tell
crab
you?
cake is Coco's.
Okay, so one more hard-hitting question. Have you learned the Park Heights strut or the Tamia line dance?
To me, I hadn't even tried. I got so much respect for people that do it. I love it. I love watching it, and I have not even tried learning it to myself. Even though I heard she's coming to town soon, and I want to be able to get. I want to get a chance to watch her do it live.
Yes.
Now the Park High Shuffle. Now that one I can get down with.
Okay, the Park High strut.
You know you need skinny jeans to do that.
And I know they're global, and I'm loving
watching
how the whole world is paying attention now. These are my dudes, so yeah. So the Park High strut is global now.
Park High strut, yeah. I got to work on mine.
Hey, that come with skinny jeans.
Listen.
That's right.
It has been such an honor to speak with you, and I know major things are coming your way, and we just want to thank you again for everything you're doing for Maryland, for our communities, and just being, that role model for all of us and letting us know that anything is possible. So we are rooting for you and backing you all the way.
Absolutely.
And we need all the invitations to all the parties because we see them on social media. Okay? Yes. And please give your wife Dawn our love because, she is the hostess with the mostest. And we know who really is running things.
Yeah, Dawn, wife Dawn and Mia and James. Mia and James.
They are, and I say Mia is my heart, James is my soul, and Dawn is my everything.
Wow.
That's I mean, like I'm so blessed by that family. I say that people always said that Dawn was a secret weapon, but I was like, she's not so secret anymore
at all.
So everybody knows, and I love it. But I have to tell you, Vic and Huggy, I want to thank y'all. I mean, I thank God for you. I thank God for how you continue to lift up the community. I thank God for the way that you continue to give our community voice. I thank God for always keeping our community first. And so I'm grateful for this chance to be with you, and I'm really looking forward to spending more time with y'all.
Yes, thank you so much. We really appreciate that.
Yes, indeed.
And again, anything you need from us, we got you.
Yes, man. Thank you so much. God bless y'all. Take care, y'all.
All right, brother.
Bye-bye.